Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, everybody, to Ask Alma Live. In case you didn't hear me, let me say it again. It's Ask Alma Live. And you know who I am? I'm Alma. How y'all doing? Hey, come on in, my friends. Comment, please. Light up the chat. Let me know you're there so I can say hello, hello. Hi, Demi. How you doing, girl? I'm so glad you're here. I am glad you're here tonight. Hi, Michelle, because this is going to be a fabulous show. Tracy, hey, girl. I'm talking fabulous. You know what, y'all? I might tear up because tonight, well, you know, it's me and my best friend Dee, and I got my niece Leah and her friends from childhood. I knew all of them, like around 10, 11, and 12, right? Come on in, ladies. Oh, my goodness. I promise to give them their grown woman props because that's what they are now. Amazing, phenomenal, beautiful women, mothers, great wives, and they have a fantastic friendship and sisterhood. So I'll start out with a hey to my best friend. Hi, Dee Dee.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, and let's see. Hey, Mary Lou. We got Darlena in the crowd. Michelle, text Tina and tell her log on. Anyway,
Hey,
I know Shell is on here. So let me start by asking you ladies to introduce yourselves. Let the audience know who you are. And let's start with you, Leah. Hello.
Hello, Alma Gill. My name is Leah. I will be 43 on Friday. I just had to shout that out. I am a mother. Thank you. A mother of 4 children, 1 grandchild. I run a successful daycare business, which is called Kim's Kids Learning Center, named after my mom. And I am so proud of my aunt and happy to be with my girlfriends and her best friend, Dee. These my girls. So don't know which one to, can I throw it over?
Yes, throw it over, girl. Throw it over.
Okay, Erica, you know I love you, Erica. That is Kennedy's godmother. Whoop, whoop. Tasha named her. Whoop, whoop. But we're going to throw it over to Dr. Tasha Levy, LaTasha Levy, who just recently got married.
Yay! Thank you, Leah. I thought you was going to do the whole intro, But I'm Tasha. I'm currently living in Seattle, but Leah and Erica have been my road dogs since day one, way back in the day. Over to what? I don't even want to count the years now. You're about to be 43. Idea. Goodness. So it's been over 30 years of friendship. That's amazing. But I'm going to, and you all know since childhood, I've always been a Black history buff. And so I teach Black studies, African-American history on the college level. And I'm the founder of BlackStarRising.com. So you can go there for Black History Month and learn your little something. So I'm also, specializing in resources for our kids to expose themselves to Black history before they get to college. And so I love Aunt Alma. I want to thank you for supporting us over the years, but we still going strong over 30 years. I love y'all.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I told y'all I'm gonna try not to cry tonight.
Lord. And we all cry babies.
I even got to Erica and I need tissue.
So we're the cry babies, man.
Yes, indeed.
Go ahead, Erica.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Erica. I live in Georgia. I've known Leah since I was in the 5th grade and Tasha in the 6th grade. I do not know how many years that is. Long time. I love them so much. I'm proud of them both. I am a human resource specialist, so I hire and fire people. Yay. I have a couple kids, got a husband, and that's about it. And Aunt Alma has been my aunt since 5th grade.
Yes.
You know it. You know it. You know it. I'm so glad you guys are here. We've been trying to work on this for a little while because everybody is busy, as we know. I laugh a little bit because you guys are in family mode and work mode and grind mode. And I'm in grandma, empty nester, D, what you doing mode. So,
Right.
so I want to remind you, ladies, that it is a blast while you're in it, and it takes up a lot of your time, but it is an awesome time in your life. And I'm just so proud of each and every one of you. I have to do an apology to Charmaine, who sent me her stuff, but and I'm in the email. D, this is so funny. Like, I'm telling Erica, Tasha didn't email me back. She's like, and I'm like,
and Cheryl.
Hit the arrow. I'm going, what? Oh, look. It's like, okay,
she
girl,
did, Erica. She was like, I'm so sorry. Erica had to fix it. Erica had to fix it.
I know they're talking smack about us too. Like we the trifling ones.
Well, we
gotta make sure with Tasha. You better make sure they have their stuff. I'm like, Alma, they did.
I was the one who didn't.
You didn't call me for assistance, so whatever it was, it worked out.
It totally worked out.
From Michelle that says that Leah is definitely the crybaby.
Oh yes,
I am.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's true. No, Leah and I sometimes cry together on text message, and Eric be like, "Oh Lord." We be on the thread like, "Oh, I'm crying now. Me too."
Yes.
Eric's looking like
she just starts crying. I'm like, "What are you crying for?"
Because all of you are in separate states.
Yeah.
I mean, that, when you have a sisterhood the way you guys do, and then everybody's in a separate state, it is really heartwarming. And it, fuels your soul when you can text and you get those emails, because all of you were in the same building. I remember you guys were in the same building growing up. And I am so glad that you're all still together. It really does bring me so much joy. I want to say hi to Robin and Frederica.
Hey, Frederica.
I know Robin was on the show in December. And Samantha, she says, how you working? Chilling, talking. Okay, girl.
Yeah, you got a good job.
Right. So, ladies, again, I'm going to welcome you and welcome the audience. I know you guys know what's going to happen because you've seen the show before. So there are 3 questions. Jamel, I'm so glad you're on. I know you're only watching because Leah and the crew is on, and that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that because I actually want you to be on the show and I want you to read a question, but that's okay. I'm going to call you later. So thank you for coming up this evening.
Knows that your internet works. She's going to
yes. So we have 3 questions tonight, and for my all-female crew, I decided we were going to go with a all-male night of questions. I was really surprised at the guys who reached out this week, and it's absolutely fantastic. So Jamel says he's on a plane. He's like trying to come back from Texas, and the weather is really bad.
Retired.
His flights have been canceled and rescheduled and all that. But you know what? When they say, because I was talking to your Uncle Ian earlier tonight, and I said, you know what? Because he told me you were trying to get home. I'm still talking to Jamel, but I'm talking to y'all at the same time. Y'all know how I do. It's on Alma. What can I say? But Jamel, let me just say, when they say the flight needs to be delayed, be okay with that. Because I have been a firm believer. When it's time for the flight to go up, when it's time for the plane to go up, then you ready. But if they need to do something, let them do it. Yes. So tonight we have 3 questions by 3 guys. We'll play the videos. I need you guys to take a listen, and then we'll talk about it and offer our sound, common sense, we looking out for you advice. Okay. All righty. So let's start with, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's start with question number 1.
Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Donnie G, and I am Proud to be your volunteer video reader for the question today. And I guess here we go. You know what? Let me just say, I feel like I'm on a Steve Harvey show, morning show or something. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so my
Donnie, you
question
so
I'm reading today
crazy.
is, Dear Alma, I hope I can explain this correctly because I really need your help. Before the COVID pandemic, I was able to attend my 30th high school reunion. I hadn't seen or much less spoken to anyone in all that time. I'm recently divorced and thought it would be a good way, maybe, to run into some old girlfriends of mine. Okay. I had short visits with my family once in a while since joining the Army after graduation, but I never really visited back home. Not too much. I relocated across country and never looked back. I can understand that. Okay. Shortly after my visit, during the reunion, my homie mentioned to me there was an old girlfriend of mine who wanted to talk to me about my son, who was not, mind you, or she was not, mind you, at the reunion. I was like, huh? What? I never knew she was pregnant, and I certainly didn't know I had a son. I was shocked by what she had said, thought she should have reached out to me directly and handled her business better than having maybe him calling me. I never contacted her. Fast forward, I read on Facebook that she had passed away. Now, I don't know what to do. Should I reach out to her, her son, possibly my son? I don't even know what his mother told him about me or if she even mentioned me. How do I approach a grown man about being his father after all these years? Maybe I should just leave it alone. But it bothers me more and more every day. I'll be honest. I'm angry and pissed and confused. What is your advice, Miss Alma? Distinguished, educated, unbiased, and real panel. Let me know something, please. All right, I'm gonna let you guys handle this from here on out. The time.
Donnie, that's one of my homegrown
Wow.
nephews right there. I am so proud of him, and I appreciate him reading the question.
Wow.
Let me say before the recap, hey Dina, I want to put out my disclaimer to everybody who's watching. Remember, this is an entertainment show. We are, except for Dr. Tasha, we're not doctors. We got one on the show tonight, though. So if you are having a problem or if you have a situation that needs some assistance, please reach out to a professional. We recommend that. We highly recommend that. So you guys, here's a recap. It turns out this guy went home to his reunion. He's divorced now. He ran into some friends, got back home, and then a friend reached out to him to say there was this woman who was an ex-girlfriend. And he put the name in the email, and Donnie and I had talked about it. We didn't want to do a name. And she asked his friend to tell him that they had a son who was pretty much, older by then. And the guy didn't receive it, was upset about it. It's like, whatever, until you reach out to me, I'm just not even going to deal with this. And recently saw on social media that she had passed away. So now he's thinking, well, maybe I should have done something. Should he reach out to her son, or what does he do 30 years later? Erica, let's start with you.
Well, I would definitely reach out to the son. I mean, he didn't know about him until he was an adult. Now, how you go about reaching out to him, apparently everybody knows everybody on social media. So unless you know a family member, I would start there. But probably should be prepared for some hard conversations and tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So I guess
Tasha, what
Leah, I'm sorry.
D. Go ahead, D.
I was gonna say, I guess the question is, does he know who he is or not? So I would approach him just as a friend, paying my condolences. Maybe get a look at him. See, because usually when these things happen, they look just like they're like, oh wow, my twin.
Right, mini me.
Undeniable.
Right. We get the opportunity to just speak to him, and maybe if he does know, he can say, oh, my mother told me that you were my father. Or maybe they establish some kind. This is sticky because I mean, if he thinks someone else is his father, like last time we went through this.
Mm-hmm.
If he thinks someone else is his father, now his mother's gone, he's been treating this other man like his father all this time, and now here comes this other person saying that. I'm a little angry that she had someone else tell him.
Right.
She should
I
have
agree with that.
him. But yeah, I would first try to check him out and see who he looks like, and then go from there.
I think
I don't know about that one though, D. Sorry, Tasha, because my grandmother, aka Curly Martin, aka Grams, always said if you feed them, they look like you. So
feed them, they favor you, to be exact.
Right. So if the other guy isn't his dad, and then I think Donnie said he doesn't know what she told him or if she told him. But my thing is, what about the family? It's always that one family member who go, who
that
your dad is?
that
knows. So you don't know if they've said it to their children, and then now their children, a cousin or somebody's like, that's not even your dad. Here go your dad. If he shows up at the funeral, I think personally he should say something.
And sometimes you could be sitting in a funeral and somebody walk in and you do a double take.
It's like, wait a minute.
Whoa, don't he look like so-and-so?
Yeah,
don't that body look hard. Yeah. Tasha, what you think?
No, absolutely. This shouldn't even be a question. And since it's still, nagging at him and he's thinking about it, he needs to go ahead and follow his instincts and know that it's important to reach out to this young man and make that connection regardless of what the situation is. So even if he has a man in his life that's been taking care of him as his father, the new connection is never going to negate that real establishment of love and trust and care that he has with another man who may not be his father. But I think with this brother who wrote the letter, he doesn't want to die having that regret, on his
That's what it sounds like.
I should have reached out to my son. Because even when people are absent, I know, I have people in my family even who may have not known their parents, but you still carry them with you in different ways, and how you speak and how you walk and your habits. You may have never met the person before. And so I just think it's important for him to follow his instincts and reach out to him. It's true. Like, we're going to do some, investigations and stalk people a little bit because of social media. So if he need a little moment to look at the pages or whatever, but I wouldn't introduce myself with false pretense, just trying to fill it. Just go ahead and let them know that you want to have a conversation. And even though it's dangerous right now to meet up in person, they can do Zoom, and just say, I want to talk to you about your mom. And this is what you shared with me.
Yeah. And started, I think, go ahead, Erica.
If the son rejects him, because the son may be like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. At least he tried.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's all you can do.
Right.
And that's what I was thinking initially, because it has been so long. Like, he is probably thinking, because one thing I know for sure, and that when you are in grief mode and when somebody has passed away, don't step to me about anything about them that's in question. Right. Because you should have handled that when they were alive. Like, what really bothers me is stuff that people brought to me when my mom died, because it was like, why didn't you say this to her when she was alive? And it's bad enough that people come to you asking for their stuff. And then you got to deal with somebody coming to you saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm your dad." Like, I think it's great that he's having these feelings right now, but I think that there's a time and place for everything, and he has to, because he does feel guilty, just like Tasha was saying, that now she's passed away, because I guess he thought, he had time or whatever. He needs to give it the time and respect before he reaches out to this young man, because he didn't, when he found out initially, not even to find out if it was true. So use that patience right now,
Right.
until he can gather, his thoughts.
I
And
worry
his
about the son. I mean, I worry about the son. We had we had the situation last week when the woman learned that her mother was not her mother, and she was
Right.
devastated. So
Right.
I worry that here we have this adult male who has been living his life a certain way, and I think that all of us would want to know. But again, wanting to know, thinking you want to know, and then actually knowing are two different.
Right.
Now, if she
Are two
told
different
him,
things.
she may have told him, this guy I had in high school or whatever is your father, and I don't know where he is or whatever the circumstances. But if that's not the case, then you're right. He's grieving his mother, and
Right.
he's going to grieve this father that he may have thought was his father. So maybe the solution is the time.
Yes, timing.
Time
I
to
think
give him
timing is
to
important.
grieve and resolve all of that, and then perhaps have that conversation.
Yeah, stalk
But you
him
know
on
what?
social media.
Yeah.
I still have like this. The way the story started off was so old school to me. People have these little side families, extra families. The women don't tell you that they done had a child.
Right.
Like, I hope women are still doing that, but I guess it kind of put me in the moment of Sophie's Love. Did y'all see that movie recently?
Yeah.
Really did.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you wouldn't tell a man that he has a child, and then she still didn't have the courage to do it directly. So that's interesting. But it sounds like he's
because she's in another relationship. She may have a whole nother life, and that may be why she didn't. Maybe she met someone, married him, that became his child, and so the conversation didn't need to happen. But perhaps she knew she was ill, or we don't know why all of a sudden she decided, and we don't know if she told the friend so the friend would repeat it. She just needed to tell somebody, and said, "Oh, guess what?" And then,
he's so and so daddy.
Right.
I know, and I feel for the guy, because all he wanted to do was get his groove back. He just wanted to get his groove back from the reunion. He wasn't trying to come out with no son. You know what I'm saying? That story went on for a minute. I was like, man, he just wanted to get his, little old girlfriend from back in the day.
We know how to get a groove without these kinds of things happening.
Yeah. But it's still not fair to him, though. Like, even though we're laughing, it's still not fair to that guy, the son or the guy. Like, the supposed to be father. Like, neither one of them. It's still not fair.
Right. And that brings me to, it is such as life, but it brings me to a little bit of what we were touching on. Back in the day, it wasn't DNA. So you could say it was your baby, and it had to be your baby, because you couldn't prove it any other way. Whereas now there's DNA. And I think, sadly, when I was your age, and I promised myself I was not going to say that a lot tonight. I promise I won't. I'm going to give myself 2 opportunities.
It's been long ago.
It has been a while. I promise I'll only do it twice. But I think that I probably felt a particular way about something in front of 55. Like, I felt like I needed all of this information, and it was disrespectful, and how was he talking to me? This and all of that. Prior to 55 was really important. Whereas on the other side of 55, y'all know I am on the other side of 55. Can y'all believe that? Anyway, but now when you are living a different kind of life, where you have less days ahead of you than you have behind you, some of those little things don't really matter the way they used to. And I also think, like, when you're young and you don't know who the dad is, and you think it might be him, but you don't know, and you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings and all of that, it's tied up But if that's your situation tonight, anybody watching or somebody, you know what? Go with the truth.
Yeah.
Go with the truth,
Right.
because it will work itself out. And now with DNA, you're going to find out anyway. And for health reasons, you really need to. Hey, Alvin, I see Alvin. What's going on, Alvin? It is better to deal with it, because I think too, none of us like a hard conversation. None of us want to have that crying, nose running, all of that family conversation. Really, like, you don't. And you try to take the easy way out, but it's not always. It don't go with easy. And that too, I think, ties into the time we're in, because that's like, kids nowadays, you can't have a team who win and a team who loses, or, everybody want to be their child's friend. No, learn heartbreak. Learn it ain't yours. Learn you lost and get through it, because so is life, and it's not going to always be your way.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm teaching you lost on a daily basis.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
At least mama's baby, daddy's baby.
And speaking of Lee Ivory, oh my goodness. Speaking of Lee Ivory, a VVR of the evening, let's roll into Lee's question for the night. Thank you, ladies. I think, we touched on everything on that question, and it worked out really well. We gave great advice to this guy, and we wish him all the best. So let's hear question number 2.
Hey, my name is Lee Ivory, and I'm reading the question tonight for Ask Alma. Dear Alma, I was married to my wife for 11 years. During that time, we had 3 children, 1 daughter and 2 sons. During our marriage, we drifted apart. I admit it was my fault. I had an affair. After our divorce, I married the woman I had an affair with. I kept a decent relationship with my children, but obviously not my wife. I say all that because next year my daughter is getting married, and I agreed to pay for everything. As her father, I was pleased to do it, and I'm honored to proudly walk her down the aisle. Imagine my surprise, though, when my daughter sent me an email telling me that she would prefer that her mother walked her down the aisle. I'm extremely disappointed, and I'm considering not paying and not attending. I think her mother put her up to this. I also think if that's the case, we should split the payments. So how do you suggest I bring this up to her and her mother? It's only fair that we discuss and reestablish who will pay for what. I'm asking Alma.
Ooh.
Thank you to the mayor, Lee Ivory. I got so much love for you. Thank you for that.
I thought he was going to say the stepfather was going to walk her down.
Right. I'm with you on that one. Or the uncle, like somebody, yeah.
Yeah, somebody completely. I was like, oh, this is going to be a mess. But okay, the mom I can deal with. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Your recap.
No, the recap is that, she's getting married. Her parents are divorced. She doesn't want the dad to walk her down the aisle. She wants the mom to walk her down the aisle. What do y'all think about that? Leah?
I think he should still pay for it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's for the daughter.
Right.
I don't know.
She was thinking. She says, "Why can't they both walk her down the aisle?"
We can have a conversation, yeah. Or can it be both of us, or work something out? You know what I mean?
I'm thinking,
but as far as the money, like, it's your daughter. Like, just suck it up and pay for it.
Suck it up, buttercup. It's two different things.
It's 2 different things.
Nah.
Right.
I just think. He's about to put out, and you all know how much weddings cost. All right. Yes. And so if we want to be traditional where your dad is going to pay for everything, because I don't even know how that even works. But if you have, a blessed situation like that where your father can step in and pay for everything because tradition, then you go by tradition and let him go ahead and walk you down the aisle. Now you can break tradition and have both your parents. So I definitely don't want to adhere to no patriarchal BS. That's not even me. But if you're going to go with the patriarchy and you want your wedding paid for by your daddy, you don't sit your daddy down on the bench. I'm sorry. That's totally disrespectful. And I think that you can bend it to say, I want both of my parents, who are my parents, to walk me down the aisle. But you don't take all your daddy's money and then sit him on the bench. I mean,
but you may not be telling us the truth, though, Alma.
What do you mean?
Do we think that he's giving us the whole story? It's always
right.
You know what I mean?
Like, give or take. Ain't no extra.
He take that man's I ain't writing no checks.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to my dad. Like, my dad walked me down the aisle. So,
right. But your dad wrote checks.
If he pays for it, that I agree that he should be benched.
Right.
He should at least, if it's going to be both of them.
I love that the women. I love that the women have turned this into a sports comment. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead with that, Erica.
Alvin says no.
In his tub and look pretty, but I mean, if like Tasha said, if he's gonna pay for it, he get part. I have this conversation with people about like marriages and head of households and all that, and I feel like we're gonna live by the Bible. That means I'm gonna stay in house and you're gonna pay all the bills, or we're gonna work together. So if you're gonna work together, that's one thing. But you can't just have this man pay for all your stuff and then be like, no, thank you. No, that don't work that way.
Well, there's one comment where the person said that the new wife has something to do with this.
Well, I was wondering too.
She needs to have a seat.
Now that's who needs to have a seat.
That's who needs to stay home and have
right. Had an affair with you, you might not even want to come to the wedding or sit back on the last. Like you could just go get your nails done that day and say, go do what you need to do with them and enjoy yourself and say some prayers and call it a day. But that's the thing. Like if she's there and if both the parents walk her down the aisle, what happens after that? Because then they both exit right, D? We've done a bunch of weddings. Don't they then sit?
All my business. You want to know where the
a bunch of weddings? I was talking about doing weddings for other people.
Yeah.
We haven't had other people. Okay. I think they can go. They both walk you down the aisle. They both go separate ways. You can sit people where you want to sit.
Want to be seated.
Yeah,
that isn't really. There are lots of traditions that are gray, depending on circumstances. So it doesn't really matter where they sit. I think one of the challenges is if the new wife is coming, there's a whole nother.
No, she need to stay home.
Right.
I don't think it has nothing to do with the new wife, y'all. I don't think it's nothing.
But the people in the comments are saying that.
Well, the new wife
be the mother.
Yes,
it must be her mother that's like saying, "I'm the one. You didn't even have a relationship."
Right. I took care of you. I raised you.
She needs to build a bridge. So if the mother, she needs to build a bridge.
Build a bridge
and get over it. I mean, it's been so long. What are you gonna do?
Well, if she's an adult, if she wants to exclude her father, then she should write the checks.
Yeah, exclude his money.
Write the checks herself. Darlene says, "Well, the daughter could be feeling some kind of way because he did break up the home, and it sounds like she's been carrying some hurt all this time. And the way you deal with that is that you write the check. And you get to
you don't then mistreat your father and take his money.
Right.
Put them all together. If that's the case.
This is sort of like the Braxtons. Y'all remember the first season they came on and the mother was still mad? I was like, how long ago was that? Like, you cannot carry. I mean, heartbreak is heartbreak, don't get me wrong, but really, after 24 months, you need to let it go.
I don't know. If I was the mother, I'd still be mad, but I wouldn't force my daughter to treat
Tasha, you
like that.
Still be mad?
If he cheated on me, do not bring that heifer to my child's wedding.
No. Yes.
Yeah, I'll hold the grudge on that one.
It depends on what kind of husband you had. Because I really don't want to
he already said
my first husband, but
he
trust
already
me.
said But he already said he didn't maintain a relationship with the kids like he should have. So he might be feeling guilty. That's why he want to pay for the whole wedding, or just volunteer to do it. But he already know that was a huge breach of trust. Yes. So that woman doesn't have to come to be in this girl's wedding or this woman's wedding if he wasn't like actively in her life. So it's not like they had a strong relationship and she built a strong relationship with the new wife. So the new wife could stay home. And so I would be probably a little salty about that because, when you build something with someone and then you have that kind of betrayal. But I would never sit up there. I would never sit up there and have my daughter make that kind of decision like that. Because that's
Dwayne says it is tradition that the father gives away the bride. If his daughter doesn't want him to do that, she is saying that she doesn't recognize him as her father. So he should stay home and save his money.
Dean Wickham, I got mad love for you. I was married once, and quite frankly, D, I've written thank you cards to the woman that my husband messed around with because, I really didn't see the crazy for what it was. And I said to Leah over the years, and sometimes situation happens, and although you are just broken beyond belief, sometimes when God takes you out of that madness, I'm telling you, a year later, you're going to want to write thank you cards. Thank you for breaking my bad ass, shouldn't have been married anyway marriage. So, I get it.
But you also did not have to
a grudge for years.
Right, D.
You also didn't have
What'd you say, D?
Checks. We're talking about checks.
Not for that.
Credit cards. When I got married, I invited my father. But we weren't, we were not, we had a decent enough relationship. He did not come expecting to give me away. He understood where his lane was and did not, and didn't even make a fuss, but he didn't even ask.
Did he write a check?
He did not write a check, but he did give me a cash gift. Which I very nicely tucked into my strapless until I got home. And calculated that he was about 24 grand short, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Alvin said, I'm still mad at my dad for leaving my mom and marrying a woman he cheated on her with, and he's dead. And you know what, Alvin, I can understand you being mad, but I guess for me, I felt like if you choose to cheat on me, then you really don't care for me. I'm not going to tie my feelings into somebody who really doesn't care, respect, or honor and want to be with me.
But that's, we're getting into murky territory now because people do cheat and people do still care for the person that they cheated on. So it's, I would say that some men and maybe women who've done it might argue against that. Even the guy who wrote the letter in to say he did, he recognized.
Yeah, he said he was wrong.
The one who destroyed the relationship, based on that. So it doesn't sound like, some people you can, I don't know if you all are opening into this, but you can love multiple people at one time.
Absolutely, you can't. And
then you may not even love the person you cheated on with.
Right.
Probably.
Exactly.
It's just a little,
So we're suggesting that the mother is the root of this problem. She doesn't want him there. She doesn't want him involved, but she thinks that he should pay for it because that's his job.
Because that
mom is
maybe, or is it still the daughter though, D? Is it still the daughter? Because I think at this point, if you're old enough to know that you want to get married, you're old enough to know that you want your dad to write this check. And I know she done dotted every I, crossed every T for this wedding. Thank God I had my aunt because I wouldn't have known what to do with a wedding. I'd have just got married in the backyard and just called it a day.
It was my wedding, my dear wedding that I never had.
That's enough for her to at least have that conversation with her dad.
Okay.
So that would be like if my mom was here and her and my dad had a wonderful relationship. So I know that even though they weren't together, they probably would have came together for that day for me because it was never no bad blood, which I do thank God for that. But at that point, I would have said, look, Kim, or like I told Grams, I'm not doing this at the wedding. You're going to have to do this for me, Grams. You're going to put these heels on. You're going to wear this dress and you're going to walk down the aisle. He's going to hold you up and that's what you're going to do. You're going to smile and that's going to be the end of it. Now, when we finish and it's tomorrow, call and be mad tomorrow.
Right.
Did she call me? Yes, she did. And I didn't like that. But it's over with now. I had my day, Grams. I enjoyed it. You didn't say anything. You know what I mean? So as that, and it's no disrespect. So she could have at least warned her dad, like, this is what's going on. So maybe even give him the option. Because now it puts her dad in that position to be like, all right, now I'm not doing nothing.
Right. Because you're taking my check, but you put me on the bench.
Right.
Like, although they would do the father-daughter dance. And see, you know, I'm going to say this, and I hope
going to have her mama dance with her. They're going to be hand dancing. I don't trust it. I think he needs to have a conversation so he knows exactly what he's getting into in terms of the dynamics there. There's a comment here by Dina Banks I think is important. She said Dad should think about his future relationship with his daughter, and that should be the deciding factor on what he pays for the wedding or not. Because if he does pull back, his relationship with his daughter is probably going to be, you know,
but the daughter
destroyed. So they have to have a conversation. But they can share the cost maybe with the mom.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Since the mom is doing it, share it.
The daughter ain't said nothing about daddy. She want daddy to have a seat. So she's chosen her relationship with her mother, which is very important. I'm not gonna say it's not, but you can't have it both ways. Listen,
you can't have it.
Dad's funeral, there was wives, ex-wives, girlfriends, sisters.
Right, everybody was there. The one you knew about and the one you didn't. Right, this is so fantastic. So, ladies, let's do question number 3, because there's so many dynamics to this. Like, I don't even know what to tell this brother. Email me back and we'll continue with you next week, because we need some questions answered, and that will help us determine what you need to do.
Leah wants to know the backstory. She wants more information. But you can only get that from the daughter.
It's unfortunate that he didn't find it out until after he started paying.
Right.
That should have happened from the door. Look, I appreciate
and I think he said she emailed him too. And that's not good. It should have been a conversation.
Email is the devil.
A call?
Yeah, it warrants a phone call.
Yes.
Tonight, I am really, really excited to say that comedian Nate Jackson is reading a question for us. He's one of the VVRs this week, and he's out of Seattle too. Tasha, he's out there with you. Nate Jackson owns one of the comedy places in Seattle. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are 6 comedy facilities, comedy shows, places across the country. There's 6 of them. He owns one. So that's fantastic. And he's going to be on Young Rock tonight. He's playing Junkyard Dog. So shout out to Nate. Thank you for that.
Like Junkyard Band. I was like, Junkyard Dog. What's that? I have to see. Thanks for sharing. I'll look them up in Seattle.
Yeah, and when you go, I can send them a text and tell them you need VIP tickets for free. So, because so let's hear question number 3. Thanks, Nate.
What up, beautiful people? It's comedian Nate Jackson, funny man extraordinaire, actor, writer, comedy club owner. I own Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club in Tacoma, Washington, about 30 minutes south of Seattle, and it is one of only a few Black-owned comedy clubs in the United States. 10,000 square feet and just exuding Black excellence. Check us out at superfunnycomedyclub.com. Also, tune in Tuesday, February 16th, the premiere, NBC's Young Rock. I'm playing the role of Junkyard Dog on that show. He's a Hall of Fame wrestler, man. Lots of people's favorite. And I'm playing it, man. I'm proud to do so. So check me out on NBC. Now, for Dear Alma, I'm going to read this anonymous question. As best that I can, I'll represent the person who wrote it. Dear Alma, my parents never married, but my biological father was fully active in my life, paying child support and extra for sports, for camps, and whatever I needed. He worked 3 jobs and missed many of my games, but he let me know how proud he was, and that one day, he knew I'd work just as he does. When I graduated, I went to college, and I did everything I could to make that happen. I messed it up.
When I graduated, I wanted to go to college, and I did everything I could to make that happen. My father did not contribute one dime, not one dime. He said it was a waste of time and that I should get a good job or two. I mean, he did not give me a penny the entire time. I have since graduated and obtained a great job. I'm married with boys of my own. I've been saving for their college fund, so we're all prepared when the time comes. My problem is, my father is now in failing health. He isn't ready for a nursing home, but he needs help. His doctors have suggested a part-time nurse, and he cannot afford it and has minimal insurance coverage. My wife says we should use the money that we're saving for the boys' education, and I could not disagree more. I don't think he deserves my help or my money. What do you think? Dear Alma.
Nate, thank you so much. You guys go to Nate's website and check it out.
Okay.
So
on
recap.
He was frozen the whole time, so I didn't hear the question.
Really? Okay, so short recap is this guy, his father did not pay anything when he went to college, basically. He took care of him. Okay. He took care of him at, from birth to 18, but he wanted to go to college and the father was like, I'm not giving you any money for college. So he did it on his own, basically. The father is now sick and needs help. He can't afford a nurse and he doesn't have insurance. So the guy's wife is saying we should help him. We should give him money because they have money saved for their boys' college fund. And he's like, I'm not helping him. He ain't helped me when I went to college. He ain't helped me do nothing. So I'm not helping him now. And he's asking, what do I think? So
they're two different things. I think helping your parent in a time of illness is completely different than whether he paid. I don't think that college is a requirement of parents. I think that, I took care of you, and if I can, I should, and we can work together to get you there. But I don't think it's a responsibility of parents to pay for college. So there's that. So, I understand why he might be bitter about that. It seems kind of specific that he's asking that he's taking the money out of the college fund. Do they not have any other money? It seems like that the story is muddled because of where the money is coming from.
Yeah, because I think his wife is thinking our savings and he's thinking you're taking from my boys,
right? So I think if they have the money, if it was my parent, I wouldn't even think twice about it, but I understand where he might be coming from.
This one hurt me to my heart, actually. Go ahead, Leah.
I say just pay for it.
For the father's care?
Bottom line for me, yeah, like just pay for it. And definitely being a wife, if the wife is saying go ahead and pay for it, so they may have the means to go ahead and pay for it, us wives know.
Listen to your wife.
Yeah, like Devin would know. Don't touch that. We'll figure it out. But see, I'm also that daughter-in-law too. So it would be like, let's just go ahead and pay for it. We're still here. Hopefully God will see us through to get it back so the kids will go to college. Or I would say we can only give X amount. Like I would have to tell my dad or whoever, whoever's handling that, since it seems he's not, we can only give 5,000. Like that's it.
Right.
That's my contribution. But for that fact, like I would definitely write the check.
Tasha?
I feel like it's too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tasha.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm trying to catch my breath.
I feel like, it's two different things. I agree with her that, if you want to go to college, if your parents can help you, they help you. If they can't, you can do it on your own. There's, millions of people out here with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan, and you need to join them. But when your parent is sick, like if you have a sick parent, I don't understand the life of me, period, point blank, why you won't help your parent. That's it. Right. I don't get it. I don't care. I don't care if, they only fed you Tuesdays and Thursdays. if you're parents, I feel like it is our responsibility. I feel like it's my responsibility. I'm in it right now to
Well, I
take
feel
care
like Tasha's
of my mother.
I think Tasha's about to take us to church. So let me
I'm over here moaning and
Always
rocking.
let me
always do.
When he starts going,
Always do.
Pat Welcome says contact area council on aging or
Right, Erica.
services which can provide services based on the father's income. Try that first. That there are places where you can get support for college and for seniors who are ill, where you can get the help, but that shouldn't be the question. Tasha?
You know, this one really disturbs me in my spirit. Like my stomach is unsettled. And maybe because I don't have my parents, you know, and so when I hear people say that about their parents who are here, I'm also a first generation college student. So going to college, you cannot put the responsibility on your family who have never had that experience to know what you need in college. So when I went to college, I was shocked that everybody else was getting care packages and stuff. They're getting all these boxes. Ain't nobody sent me no care package. You know what I'm saying? But how are they supposed to know that? Yeah. Not ever having gone to college. I had an aunt, you know, she used to send me stamps all the time. And I'm like, dang, I need some money now. I can kind of afford a 29-cent stamp when it was 29 cents. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to need a little something more than book of stamps. But I should have asked, you know, and just told people what I needed. I was angry with my sister thinking like she could have sent me something. But how was she supposed to know? Nobody, they think, oh, you just studying and you got your books. Like, they have no idea what that process is. So if his father was there for him, which he says, his father worked hard, his father was there for him. He's just mad about that college situation when the father is thinking, also, college is a waste of time. You need to get a job and get some skills. And people can disagree with that and have a different perspective, but he should not hold his father accountable and just erase all of the care that he's given him and support that he's given him because he ain't sent him no care packages or help him with school. Take some of that money. You ain't got to take the whole college fund, but take some of that money and help your father out. If you don't, karma is a mother.
It's gonna come back.
Tell you that's
you're gonna do everything perfect as a parent. So even as you saving up for this college fund, your sons might be mad that you ain't do X, Y, and Z. You wouldn't want them to hold that one moment or that one experience, hold you accountable for that. I remember when I was in college, my father, two things. Okay, so I had lost my mother already, but my father told me I didn't need 4 years of college. I only needed 2. He never been to college. Okay. He was like, you only need 2 years. I don't know why you keep on going. He was like, because in his mind, his brother, the only person in his family who went to college, got an associate's degree. So that was a big deal to him. So he's still hanging on today. All you need is 2 years. You're going to do a third and a fourth. Like, it's just like, okay, like, whatever. It takes 4 years to graduate. So I'm going to go get my degree. So when I graduated, y'all, I did not have no big party and nobody give me gifts until I actually had a ceremony because I graduated late. You know, Black people, like, if you don't have no ceremony, you ain't really graduated. So I just, I graduated in summer, but I was like, Dad, I'm finished with college. And his words, I know you glad.
Oh,
that was
it. I know you glad.
That was what he knew, and you said that.
That was what he knew. I laughed and laughed and laughed, and it's like a joke between me and one of my girlfriends. So when something happens, we'd be like, "Well, I know you glad." I got married. She was like, "I know you glad." But I just had to bring myself down a couple notches to say that's the limitations of his own experience. And of course, he was very proud when I did finally wait a whole nother year to do this, to walk with everybody else. I got the cake. I got the, they dressed up and came to my ceremony. But your father don't know what he knows is hard work. You said that. You said that. And he hasn't had the experience of making that connection to college. So don't punish him for that. Your
and Gill makes a good point. What maybe one of your sons might not think college is for them. What you gonna do?
Right. What you gonna do?
Although Tasha, I will say, you know how proud I am because you live in my life. Girl, then you done married that fine man. You don't.
You know what? And everybody thought because I went to college too and got all them degrees and I was in college for a long time, all kinds of college, all this college, that college, Everybody thought I was going to find a
college.
man because I had a black woman going to find a man with all them degrees. But Nina Simone told me, I remember in my 30s, that song, Marriage is for Old People. And I feel like that's so true. That's so true. Marriage is for old people. So anyway.
Well, it's not uncommon for people to think that if you have degrees, you won't find a man, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, especially for black people.
It's ridiculous. Wayne Wickham agreed with what you said. He said the father took care of his minor son. At that point, the son became a man. College was on him. He should man up and help his father in his time of need. And Esther says long-term medical care is costly.
It is.
But it's also the experience caring for aging parents. And we've all either done it or have to do it now. And there's some sacrifices that just need to be made. So he needs to make this one. And his wife is signing off for him to take care of his parents. Like,
right.
That's a blessing.
That's the bottom line.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's the blessing.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Them kids gonna be all right. One of them need to get a scholarship. The other one take out a little loan, you know.
Run track or something.
Because the other thing too that I was thinking about with this is his dad did more than not. Like sometimes we are so fixated on the one thing that a person didn't do that we erase the 25 things that they did do and continue to do for us. And that's what's so sad about this, because I'm with Tasha. I don't have either one of my parents, and taking care of my mom her last 2 years meant everything to me. And you absolutely would not change a day. I mean, it's a good thing and it's a sad thing, because they are aging, and every morning you wake up and wonder when you walk in the room, good morning, or what's going to happen. But again, that's what you want to do. Right. So I agree with you guys. I think the fact that he had to pay for college, really, dude, like that's your issue, that you had to pay for school. You need to reevaluate what's important.
And he's in for a rude awakening anyway, because if he's saving now, he still won't have enough to pay for
exactly.
Yeah, he's still going to. What is it? $100,000, Erica? You said they're going to join him anyway. No matter how much he saves, it isn't going to be enough. So
I remember feeling salty about the fact that people didn't send me stuff, but I had to get real with myself. It's like I needed to ask. Like people can't read your mind either.
No,
if you're really starving and you don't have food or whatever, just reach out. You got to humble yourself and ask for help. And I'm sure his father would have helped him if he had asked.
What else? And the other thing that I think a little bit may have happened is sometimes a father will give it to the mother to give it to the child. Like, even if they disagree with a son, like a father and son, sometimes I notice that they will, because it happens in my house a little bit. Then Gill will be with Josh. No, we're not going to do it that way. With Josh is grown and 30 now, but back in the day, no, that is not what's going to happen. And then, like, we go into bed and he's like, okay, so you're going to do that thing for Josh tomorrow? And then, like, I thought y'all just had the no. Okay. So, like you said, if he had asked, I'm sure his mother would have sent him, mac and cheese, $50 extra or something. But I think we all agree he cannot hold his father responsible for that part of his life, because his dad was actually there for him. I gotta wrap this up, y'all, because it's been an hour already. Can y'all believe it? It has gone by so fast, so quickly.
Well, Tasha, if you get another degree, we're gonna send you stuff. So
girl, Tasha is rolling. Tasha can send us some stuff.
I know that.
Dr. Levy can send us some stuff. Oh my gosh.
I can send you some lessons. That's about it.
Yes. And although after COVID, though, maybe I know Leah and Erica and probably you guys' other girlfriends were planning to come out and do a little thing since you got married, and because of COVID couldn't invite family and friends the way you wanted to. But maybe we can take a trip, and Alma can go with y'all too. Out there to see Tasha.
We've been talking about a girls' trip to New Orleans. So I was actually trying to plan the wedding in New Orleans so we could finally get there. to know.
Yeah. So I think Aunt Alma should really be able to be invited on the first part of the trip. I really do. And D, I think best friend D could come. Like,
Yes.
D, we all in. That's right. We all in. I can't wait. Thank you, ladies. I want to do a shout out real quick to my cousin Dina, who sent me this for Valentine's Day. It's a picture of me and my daddy. Oh, how sweet. It's so sweet. I love it. I was like 1 or something. I've never seen it before. It's so sweet. Thank you, Dina, for that. I appreciate it so much.
Hey, Marcus.
Bye, you guys. Love you.
Bye.
Hey, Marcus.
He waited.
Put him on the screen. He waited.
I'm coming.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, audience. We will see you guys next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.